On the morning of July 14, 1999, Timothy Barnes signed the backcountry permit log at the Yosemite Valley Visitor Center. Name, date, trail designation, emergency contact. He had logged this route 10 times before. By 11 a.m., his wife contacted park dispatch. By noon, search and rescue teams were on the trail. They searched for 9 days. They recovered his map, folded, dry, and resting on a rock as if placed there deliberately. They found his water bottle, untouched. They found a single boot. Timothy Barnes was never located. The official report ended there, but the archived logs contain details that never reached the public. They point to something more consistent and more unsettling than a single accident. It is a pattern of what gets left behind. Search and rescue logs describe the evidence with the precise clinical language teams use when they are trying to remain objective about circumstances they cannot explain. One left foot hiking boot, size 11, laces fully undone, tongue displaced forward. The second boot was never found, not within the initial search radius, nor during subsequent sweeps of 9 square miles of wilderness. For a man with years of backcountry experience, to carefully remove one boot before disappearing leaves no logical sequence of events. Buried in those same daily logs is a single observation: unusual absence of wildlife activity in the northeastern search corridor. No bird calls logged during daylight operations from July 16th through July 19th. 3 days. No birds, no squirrels, no deer. Just a specific corridor of the high country that had gone completely still. When you review incident reports across 30 years, the same detail reappears, not in how people disappear, but in the environment they occupied. Navigation gear abandoned, footwear removed, no signs of struggle, no evidence of a fall. In 1981, a field researcher named Carol Deming transmitted 3 words before her radio went silent. "Don't come here." Ocamp was found standing. Her sleeping bag was laid out. Her notebook was open to a blank page. She did not leave because she was lost. Teams who worked that section of the park later documented an abnormal stillness. One entry noted that searchers experienced elevated psychological distress that could not be attributed to terrain or exhaustion. They simply recorded the observation. I spoke with a former Yosemite search and rescue volunteer who operated in the park throughout the late 1990s. He noted that crews quietly avoided certain areas of the northern high country, referring to them among themselves as the quiet stretch. He explained that the silence wasn't the notable part. It was the sensation that accompanied it. He struggled to articulate it, but returned to the same phrase. It felt like something was measuring you. This description appears in accounts from people who had never met and operated decades apart. They were not looking for an explanation, and they did not claim to see anything. They simply reported a consistent, uncomfortable state of attention. Those cases are rarely dramatic. They are composed of coordinates, weather conditions, and search grids. But when you aggregate them, the gaps become difficult to ignore. Which brings us to Marcus Webb. August 2011. Marcus Webb returned from the Yosemite backcountry. That makes his case an outlier. He had been gone for 40 hours, though his planned trip was 22. He was severely dehydrated despite having functioning water filtration equipment. Most significantly, he could not account for 6 hours of his trip. He remembered making camp. He remembered filtering water. He remembered writing in his journal. The final line on that page read, "It already knows I'm writing this down." The next entry was written the following morning. It began in the middle of a sentence. The campsite was 3 miles away from where he believed he had spent the night. When investigators asked what occurred during those missing hours, he had no answer. In later interviews, he maintained that it did not feel like lost time. It felt like borrowed time. He noted that he returned home and felt a lack of urgency that concerned him more than the disappearance itself. Whatever occurred in those woods left behind maps, boots, and silence. Timothy Barnes left one boot. Carol Deming left a blank page. Marcus Webb left 6 hours of his life he could never recover. If you are hiking Yosemite this season, stay on marked trails. File your route. Carry redundant navigation. The wilderness does not need to be mysterious to be dangerous. The quiet stretch does not appear on park maps. It exists only in scattered reports and the memories of people who spent enough time in the backcountry to notice when the forest felt different. Whether that difference is a matter of geography or something else remains an open question. Dark logs. We examine the details everyone else walked past. I will see you in the next case.